Good evening. We are Boomer Rex tonight. Good to have you back. I have with me, as always, Mr. Boomer Rex himself.
The one and only.
And his son, Asshole.
Mister's always been a cooler title. I didn't meet a lot of warrant officers, but...
And I am RisenLadyHeathen.
Cooler.
And we are here to give you your nearly daily news and politics. Let's dive right in. Let's start with Liberty Action Group PAC. What's going on with them?
None of those
This
sounded
didn't sound
good.
good, yeah.
Oh, no, this is great.
Yeah.
I like Liberty. I hate PACs.
Right.
So anyway, the brand new indictment, this is for the 2016 cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these three fellas blasted out robocalls for donations to the Liberty Action PAC and the Progressive Priorities PAC. And they claimed that these were affiliated with presidential candidates,
Of
right?
course, yeah.
Okay. So anyway, in the name of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, they collected $3.5 million.
Hillary Clinton?
Oh, yeah.
It
That's
was
why the progressive,
2016.
Scooby-Doo snacks pack
Yep.
or whatever.
So anyway, they did one for the Trumpies and one for
They raked money off of everybody's dum-dum.
Oh, yeah,
bullshit.
absolutely.
If you answer a robocall, what are you doing?
$3.5 million, and they gave $19 to one.
How did that work out? Because I saw the headline, but I knew today was very boring. Like, each of us individually complained about how slow a news day it was.
Yeah.
So is the $19 for the mailing list or something, or is there some just requirement that you must give $19?
I didn't see any explanation.
Okay. No, I've been wondering because one, I want to see what the guys get. That is absolutely our plan B. Seriously, if they don't go to jail for a long, long time, if they get 3 years, and they took in how much money?
$3.5 million.
So
Three guys,
a
$1
million
million
years. I'm just saying, there's a math problem at the end of this that don't be surprised if I suddenly one day
Call you up.
I know they.
No, I have to admit that what the thought that crossed my mind was, if you don't actually claim you're associated with the campaign,
Yeah.
right? And you say this is for X, Y, and Z, and you actually do the X, Y, and Z and pay yourself for doing the X, Y, and Z.
Oh, you mean like a real?
What's the problem? Like a real PAC. Yeah.
This is my thing about a real church. We'll have to talk more in a little bit because, part of me is oh, we should totally do a scammy ass church, but that's actually illegal if you do it enough and annoy somebody. But anyway, we'll see. Because doing a real thing, I could be down for.
Yeah.
So what's
Anyway, I found it amusing.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
What I didn't find, which I would have thought would be useful, was how was the $3.5 million divided? Was that $2.5 million on the Trump side and $1 million on the other side? And my guess would be that it was probably less equal than that, right? But anyway, it would be interesting to know.
How much
follow
money
that
they got
story.
from different.
No, you give me 45 minutes. I'm gonna have cute yoga kids, and I can deliver you as many nitwit lefty crystal children scalps.
Well, we'll follow it and see. When we
Yeah,
find
no,
out,
that's what
we'll
I'm saying,
come back and tell you.
This is just fun because I get to read our indictment early. Someone else tried the thing I've always wondered about.
One of the companies that does fake news for money,
Yeah.
right,
Said,
said,
not saying the name. That's cute.
what?
Anyway.
Anyway, they said that they made a great deal more on the right than on the left.
Okay.
Because the lefties tended to go, wait a minute, and
Yeah,
Google it or Snope it or whatever.
Robocalls. Answering calls you don't know.
Yeah, most
Period. Dot.
Democrats don't tend to
I answer all my
unknown
calls.
You're in a demographic that makes sense for.
No, I'm in a position where, but anyway. All right, so I found that amusing. I thought
Yeah.
$3.5 million was funny enough to bring up.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Oh no, and again, I want to see how much time in a box they get. Nope, that's a math problem we can do, and you guys want to make $700,000 a year?
I mean, is this really scammier than, some of the
I
other
liked your
PACs?
idea of doing the first
I don't
thing.
think it's any
Yeah.
scammier than what Trump is doing actively right now by not saying he's going to run, but by still collecting money for people believe, oh, he's definitely going to run, blah, blah, blah. So he's not tying himself up legally yet by saying, oh yes, I'm going to run, which
Yeah.
will then import, like, he'll have to do certain things with this money, right?
Yeah.
And they'll be keeping an eye on it. But right now, people are just giving him money for free.
That's all right. When you were talking about doing a real pack and stuff, before I realized you talked about a real one that actually does things.
Well,
I was
I
all
didn't
set to
say
tell
the
the
things
internet.
had
The
to be
internet, if
hard.
you're a cop, you have to tell us. I love the people who told me. They think that's still like a thing.
No, yeah, the cops will lie to you, and they're allowed
No, that's
to,
like the build the wall.
to get you to
Rightfully
say
so.
things.
Don't be dumb.
If the Build the Wall pack hadn't promised that they would spend every dollar on the wall or whatever it was, Bannon wouldn't be
Shut
in
up.
trouble.
We're starting a new build the wall pact because we
Yeah.
have walls.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just get vague on the terms.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we could build a really nice wall around the property.
And a poison garden. I could sell a
want a
poison
poison
garden on
garden.
top of the wall.
Okay.
Planters.
I love it. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, so what's going on with Republican governor from Missouri, Mike Parson?
Oh, now this is great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this was one of those governors who was just incensed that people were getting additional unemployment compensation during the COVID.
Yard.
And so he did everything he could, right? He was aggressive in cutting back those unemployment benefits, right?
Of course
Just
he was.
aggressive.
He's one of those
Right.
governors that wanted the work requirements into the rest of welfare.
Oh, yeah, all
and
the- yeah.
everything you do to make
Shitty.
being poor a full-time
be
job.
To be a dick.
No,
about this.
no, I've seen this on
Right.
the ground. It's
Yes.
that you know the forms you need to have.
Yep.
We are instructing humans in how to prove they're poor, which is all the time they're supposed to use finding other income.
Right. Absolutely. Well, he's found a group he thinks he should be very generous with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, those are the
are the
anti-vax
deserving?
people who get fired because they didn't get vaccinated.
Of course.
So he's going to treat them really nice, and they'll get unemployment and so on.
So all I have to do is move to Missouri, claim I'm an anti-vaxxer even though I'm vaccinated. Shh, don't tell, and they'll give me money.
Was it you
Maybe.
guys I heard about the person taking a leave of absence from work and then starting an anti-vax crazy? Somebody took a paid leave from work from one of the
Okay.
good companies that was doing this thing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't you guys. We didn't. I
Okay.
just want to make sure I wasn't talking about last night's episode,
Okay.
which is like now my new concern. And so she took this leave of absence. She got like paid time off for it, and in the meantime, organized demonstrations of anti-mask and anti-vax natures. And so she got fired. And like, yeah, because seriously, like,
Well,
that-
if
that's
she's in
dumber
the-
than calling into work drunk. And
It
like
is,
that's an
yeah.
actual genuine call in just because you can't be in being a cook or security if you can't stand up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, it's really great. So if she's in Missouri, she probably qualifies for unemployment.
That's insane.
So
I-
dumb.
My reaction to that is, I think the federal government can make sure that no federal money goes into that, and it has to come out of Missouri's pocket.
Well, and fuck you, fucking person.
It wasn't.
No one likes you.
Oh yeah, no,
You're obviously a bad
There's
person.
nothing special about him. He's an absolutely dead standard Republican governor.
Okay,
Nothing
but
special
I would
about
say
him.
that about any Republican governor we would ever
There you
talk
go.
about on this show and have.
that's hold on, wait, no, this is part of it. Neither of us is like bothered by the fact that we're gonna get killed by something that got stamped out of a factory because we're gonna get killed by Terminators.
Okay.
I don't know whose or zombies or whatever. Like, it's very much the my cousin Vinny answer of, do you care what kind of son of a bitch killed you?
Right.
Like, sure, he's the same Federalist garbage shithead. He went to Yale or Harvard. He's
Wherever.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's tiny boss with a handful of money, and he's
Yeah.
scummy like this.
Well, wants to make sure nobody else gets any, because then there might not be enough for him to give to his friends.
Oh, I learned about the big fire at that one grocery store. Like, the scummy bosses that like need the windows so they can see the workers.
Yeah.
The ones that are pushing for him to come back. Like, again, we talked about J.P. Morgan the other night, when how a big noise early on was they want their people back because really gross reasons.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, absolutely.
who else do you have to like throw rocks at?
Oh, we got all kinds of people to
All
throw
right,
rocks
so
at.
so let's move on to the Orange Man, aka number 45. So he's on the rage again. What is he raging at this time?
President Donald Trump.
No, we're
No,
not
they
calling
made
him.
that true. Fuck them. They're gonna
Okay.
wear that. I want the Third Stryker Brigade to call the roll call of the serial killers they put in a tin can and just took them at their word when they blew up an old guy who we notoriously knew was Wicked, our friend. Like, no, fuck them.
I,
This is
I'm sorry, but
it's what we call ex-presidents. It's what we're gonna call this one, and they're just gonna eat it every
Twice
time.
impeached former president?
Sure, but his title, and he should be addressed as Mr. President because that's what we do. And no, this is why it mattered. This is why. And again, I would have been shitty about who did Teapot Dome. Like, there's a level of corruption where I'm just like, nope, we're gonna wear this one.
So, anyway, no, I mean, he's waging this war against the Republicans who didn't sufficiently support him
Of
on
course
January
he
the
is.
6th and
of
so on.
course he is.
But it turns out that all of the Republican Party election funds are perfectly happily paying those who didn't support him. Because
Yes.
it turns out that the, Republican Senate
Donations
or
are determined
whatever.
by the boss class and the
Yeah.
kids that want to work for the boss class.
Right. And so Trump has just no effect on that. He might have an effect on
Oh yeah.
on election day,
Yes.
which, I hope the Democrats will encourage.
I hope he gets real angry. I hope people start to roll. Again, why I support your argument the other night of send the sergeant of arms, enforce this, make some
Yes.
other court strike you down, have a big fight between you and the
Mhm.
Supreme Court. The reason that I worry about this is we talked a lot about, we sold Joe Biden as the concept of a return to normalcy.
Right.
Normalcy got us here.
right.
And showing how strong the institutions are isn't the defense you think it is
No.
against we can make it better. It'll be horrible for a minute. Like, there's a part of the human brain that is totally down for the idea of turn the lights off for 5 minutes and there can be less problematic humans around.
True.
And that's not a good answer. Don't do bad things in
Don't
it.
do
but,
crimes, people. Don't hurt people. Don't do any of that. I know we
but embrace
joke.
your animal
All right,
monster
but you
nature.
might not
I know we
want to
joke-
return to the normal
Yeah,
that created the Republican
Bingo.
Party that Trump now owns.
Well, or realize that it's the moneyed class who, right, have done all of the homework. Well, they didn't do it. They paid someone to. But, like, our Richie Riches aren't cool like in the cartoon. Our Richie Riches are like poison your dog shitheads.
Yep.
Like, they're Union Carbide
Well,
assholes.
They turned their heads because the Republicans were just using the dog whistle words, and they could ignore it, and they still got their lower tax rate and so forth.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
They had a
scum of the
financial
earth.
interest that,
Yeah. So, rather than returning to normal, we might want to return to legal.
I was thinking
And punish those who weren't.
Oh yeah. No, for sure.
Of by and for the people. But that also means rural Americans. You need to acknowledge, and I say that as one. Stop worrying about the people flying over, like thinking rude. Like, you are aware of them. I don't care about the opinion of anybody. Like,
Yes,
and that may not be a
right.
good answer, but
Yeah.
that's what it is. I'm a monster. I've just never had any power. Just give me some power.
Well,
on the
you
internet.
hope at some point
I'll fuck it up too.
when they've had enough money stolen from them, when enough of their rights have been stolen from them, that they will wake up and realize they're voting for the wrong
Okay,
team.
but we
But it
keep
hadn't
saying
happened
that,
recently.
and things are getting worse and worse.
Now I
and
can screw it up with a different model that he knows. They were supposed to have smarter kids who were in charge of them. Told them when it was time to get the pitchforks, and no one told them to. Except these people who are now trying to get them to. I suddenly realized I actually have to be heard by the microphone. Because I usually tend to get quiet when I want to make a
lean
good
forward.
counterpoint.
If you want to get quiet,
Yeah, but then I
just
want to
lean
put my
into the-
horrible meat
Don't,
stumps
just-
on the
Just
table.
lean into the microphone.
I don't have arms on my chair because I'm poor.
Put your hand
true.
on my knee. You're
Because
fine.
I'm a worker. So no, the amount of we know the amount of money that was spent in tricking them, and we've
Yes.
there is no comparable human fucking endeavor.
To untrick them?
We spent more money on this than the United States has spent on fusion research, and every
yeah.
particle kid I know says that's actually going to be an answer. I don't know what it is.
Well, there
There's
was lots of Russian money too. So
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing about the NRA, the $35 million, and I saw that number float by, and someone's like, "Huh? Usually they give 6 to 12 million,
Yeah.
35 million.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?"
Yeah, that's
The internet and small donors. You can get fake credit card numbers from the internet.
Well, and whatever didn't get spent on $32,000 luxury suites at various hotels. So-
We have no idea about credit card fraud because no one reports a bill that gets paid, which is actually the only real argument you can make about Russia's threat if we can steal half the identities.
Yeah.
If you never check your credit report, which most of them won't because they will never need to take that big a loan except for maybe a car. If there's a card in your name and someone's paying it, you'll never know.
I agree.
And you can make donations from all those cards.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so not having that much effect on where the Republican Party puts its money for next round.
Hey, it didn't when the corporations were saying, we're not going to support this thing for 90 days.
Most of them didn't make it to 90 days.
And I understand it. I can see why, right? If you have enough money to invest in both, why wouldn't you buy both flavors of senator?
Absolutely.
all right. So let's move on. Asshole, you said you want to talk about the Yamuna River in India.
Yes. Holiest river in India.
Safe bathing practices.
Yes.
And
Coconut
lack
oil.
of proper cleanup.
So, it's the holiest river in India. Prayers are offered to the sun. It's very beautiful. The internet will give you very awesome pictures. Mormons, there's bubbles, so I know that's a little bit your thing. So try it out. No, it's you have to take a bath in it to be pure.
Yes.
And it's one of the dirtiest rivers on earth because unlicensed gene companies dump dye into it. The local households just drain straight water into it, so it's all the detergents, it's everything bad,
And it's biologically dead.
Yeah, I know. It's like the dead zones in the Gulf of Mexico and everywhere else, only it's a river, and it's the holiest river. It's what gave life to this whole.
Yeah, you'd think that they would be taking good care of it and caring. Like we have some rivers in New England that got pretty fucked up that we cleaned up. During during the textile revolution and everything.
Oh, this is about to bite her. Beware, rakes ahead. So when we got rid of that industry and moved it to India.
Ah, fair.
Yep. So no, shit. And it's sad. So coconut oil, smear it on before you go in. Use a cotton dress because you can throw it away afterwards because you can't fix it.
Right. This is the deadly foam that was on the river.
So the state's response was to send out some gunboats with a big cloth, and they skimmed off all the filth garbage so it won't show up in the pictures. And like a little bit, it was probably some of the most. It's like the young lady in the sundress facing off with the Ferguson cops. It's one of those beautiful scenes where, behold, faith in the modern world.
Yeah.
Dying in the foam that industry
created
needed to give you cheap chicken nuggets and pants that don't survive 4 washings. Woo, capitalism.
Yeah.
That's not how it was supposed to be, but it is very much how it went. And we need to talk about regulation and some other stuff because this is horrible.
Otherwise, the rivers here be just like that. No,
they are. Half of surface water is unsafe to drink.
It's unsafe to drink. You're right.
Mountaintop removal is the end of everything. It's the only thing the not dead Kennedy and I agree on. And he hangs out with Nazis.
So you also wanted to lead this into Flint, Michigan water because that's also
that was an example of
the
water
other thing
here.
that made me grind teeth right out of my face. So there's a proposed $629 million settlement, $200 million of which will go to legal fees because those kids worked real hard. And I have no doubt that they worked hard. That just seems really big. I don't know how many lawyers to divide that amongst to know how angry I should be. And I don't want to look. So that leaves $426 million out over, let's say 100% of everyone in Michigan or Flint right now claims it. Well, in 2019 claims it. It works out to $4,400 per person. Let's call it $4,500 per person. I don't know what lead poisoning your kid because it was cheap to just give you that river water over there.
right.
Right, it makes you want to talk about financial. We keep putting these emergency managers in charge of cities we can't just take over the legislature of.
Right.
We just go, oh, well, if everything goes bad, you can't pay your bills. Here's Bob. He's in charge. Bob's going to inevitably get a job working for as a lobbyist or something for the people he's about to sell chop up your city for.
Right.
It's they've taken the Bain Capital model of what you do to corporations and they figured out how to do it to cities. You can look because they did it to Detroit, one of the few genuinely American cities, right? That wasn't New Amsterdam originally or Boston, which I love dearly, but
Right.
that's a European city.
Yeah.
It's full of Americans, but Detroit and Chicago are actually American cities, and we butchered one for money. So no,
It's
we'll
not
see. I don't know
exclusively
what
an
the numbers
Indian
are.
problem.
Those are just what the early numbers are, and this is what piratical capitalism looks like, where they know what the cost to settle is.
Yeah.
Well, and this leads nicely into what you wanted to discuss,
What'd you have?
BoomerRex. The Thames in London
Oh.
has some health issues. Like, what's up with that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. So the Thames, right, which is that big river that runs
Yeah.
right through London.
And it's
So
been.
they just did a health check,
Oh.
and but the news is great,
Oh.
right? So we're talking about an area that in 1957 was biologically dead, right?
Mhm.
So now they have seahorses and eels and
way.
seals, and the reason we're talking about it is
They're eating things.
they have venomous sharks.
Woohoo!
What? No,
Venomous
shut
sharks.
up.
Yes,
Wait, yeah,
I'm
I have
in.
questions.
I'm in. Do it, venomous sharks.
So I'd never heard
Take
of a
over
venomous
the
shark,
Thames.
Yeah.
right?
All right, I changed my mind. We should burn the water down.
Venomous sharks are actually really interesting.
Is that a
creatures.
thing?
The
It
venomous
is, yeah.
shark is really cool.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I'm still.
So-
This is like the
No,
duckbill
hear
platypus
him
for
out.
sharks.
This is gonna be good. You'll like
Okay,
this. You'll like
so
this.
the sharks, right?
This is like Komodo dragons? No, venom. Okay.
They've got taupe and starry smoothhound and the spur dog. And so the spur dog is a shark, gets to be about 23 inches long, and it's venomous. So you're a little tiny shark, and it's venomous. It has spines that inject you with venom.
Yeah, no. It
Right.
had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't step on them.
Otherwise, I'm picturing a swimming rattlesnake, and we need to poison all the water
Yeah,
everywhere.
right.
Fuck every. No, I'm fine. We'll live in domes. It's cool.
Anytime you think that a fish-shaped rattlesnake is worse than a rattlesnake, you've never seen a rattlesnake or a cottonmouth swim.
Yeah, but it's the getting God like they're gonna hit you from the surface. I'm not saying that's better.
You're going to see them coming, and they're going to bite you in the face.
It's not gonna be
Yeah,
like
water
Jaws
moccasins
with a
are
rattlesnake head.
creepy because they swim really good.
Like they're of a size. That's gonna go however that goes.
So swimming venomous things is
Yeah, what I don't again, I don't want to get bit a
from
little.
below.
I don't want a leg bitten off and just gross and like
He's 23 inches.
Yes, I know, but
Okay.
for
But
now,
this was before.
So it's the reverse side of once the humans die and no one's hunting them, they'll get big.
No, some animals don't actually keep growing. Like humans, we hit a point.
If no
Yeah.
one's eating their Andre the Giants, they'll get big. It's the reverse of what happened to the lobsters. Remember all those old pictures of lobsters where like that was a lot. Like you could
Yeah,
split a lobster with someone, and then we ate them all.
Yep.
That gene no longer exists in the wild,
I didn't see the creature,
or doesn't express as often.
but I've seen photographs of a 23-pound lobster that came back
Yeah.
on one of the lobster boats. And they kept him alive carefully, and they took him out and let him go.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Again, it's
Yeah, it's there's so many the fishing practices nowadays. You can only catch them if they're a certain size. If they have eggs, you have to mark
Yep.
them and release them.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's all kinds of really good laws, and I think we
This
need
was
to...
long before any of
No,
those
I
laws.
understand that. Yeah.
and all of these laws are very much window dressing.
Well,
we've
no, it
hunted
was
to
the lobster
extinction.
boat that decided he would probably be tough and stringy, and hell, he was 23 pounds and forever old. And so they dragged his ass back out where they caught him and let him go.
Good.
So-
Yeah, he can spread his seed.
Betting I'm the only one here who's actually gone to Glasgow and thought about getting a job there. If you go to their museum, you can look at the tonnages caught, like,
I know.
and something is happening.
Something not good.
And like the market has moved to continue to have glass now. But anyway.
Yeah, the perfect lobster now, the restaurant lobster is 2 pounds.
Yes.
So
No, and I don't disagree with that. Part of my feeling was unless you were going to split that like 4 people, right, or 10 people, a 20-pound lobster is crazy.
yes,
Because you're just throwing it away. That is so it's even worse than that.
he'll have the taste. You'll want to cut him up small and use him in lobster salad.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so our next water discussion, we talking about a lot of water
California
tonight.
water again?
What's up with this traveling trash barrel?
Oh, I love
yeah,
that.
tell me about this traveling
It's
trash
another
barrel.
one of those, you see. Kinda.
All right.
Kinda. So, off the coast of Ireland,
No.
there appears this barnacle-covered trash barrel, right? Except it's got decals on it.
Yeah.
And it turns out it came from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Fuck yeah. Okay, cool.
So apparently it got caught in the Gulf Stream and
Mm-hmm.
wandered over. But it's been out there long enough, right? So it's like 3,500 miles. But it's been out there long enough. It's got barnacles all over it.
That's
So
awesome.
way to go, barnacles.
Is it
Yeah.
a metal? Is it a metal trash can or a plastic?
Well, it didn't say. I assume it's metal.
All right.
I'd assumed it was plastic. so-
Yeah. I
Oh,
would've
all
assumed
right.
it was plastic.
But that's just because that's all the 55-gallon drums I've really seen.
Anyway, they said it probably didn't happen in a hurricane because they collect them and
Yeah.
store them. So probably just big wind or,
Yeah.
something happened to it.
Frat boys. Don't nobody open it.
Yeah.
Right.
It might contain American soup. And not like, well, I mean, it's Ireland. They've eaten it before.
Yep.
It'll be fine.
Oh God! Stop! No, you can't talk about that.
Oh, no, we should talk about the real family that made the
No.
Hills Head Eyes. They're one of the first serial killer families. We have one down in Weirdy Bend, South. I'll look it up.
Yeah. All right.
I got more
Okay.
creepy stuff to talk to you about.
All right,
That's
so
why you should like, comment, and
The
subscribe.
area
Like,
where
comment,
Georgia
subscribe for
O'Keefe's
sure.
Ghost Ranch is, that area was run by some cattle stealing folks who routinely killed people and then made up stories about ghosts and so on.
Were they cannibals? We may be talking about the same people. Down in the Benders.
Oh, I think so.
Okay. Well, the Benders also then.
Okay.
And the Scottish people, the Hills Had Eyes. It was out in the dunes.
Uh-huh.
And like travelers who just always going lost and
Yeah.
whoops.
Yep.
Yeah. So these people need to be introduced to Hufu.
So don't feel fancy there, rural Americans. Our like history really is cannibalism and weirdness.
If you're missing the reference to Hufu, you need to watch our yesterday episode. So go back and watch that. And
You need to watch
that
all our
joke will make
episodes,
sense.
like, comment, and subscribe on all of them.
All of them.
Blitz them out on whatever web pages you go to.
Yeah. No. Hit that subscribe button. We
Just
kind
copy and
of.
paste a link into every field you meet on the internet.
Oh,
It'll
for
be fine.
sure.
Nothing can go wrong.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We've hit a kind of leveled out. We haven't gotten any new subscribers recently, so be that next new subscriber, people. Do it.
Right.
All right, so we are going to get into the more infuriating part of things
You haven't
in
been
America.
infuriated yet?
Oh, tonight we've been pretty mellow. We're getting into more book burning. You said?
Oh, yeah. Well, this is great. Right.
Yeah,
No, because
So-
normally I have to slap us down when we talk about book burnings because no one's actually saying it. And then,
So the Spotsylvania County School Board voted unanimously to ban some books from the high schools.
of course they did.
Right. And they were, they're banned because some parents had flagged them as sexually explicit.
Oh no, because teenagers don't know about sex.
I know.
or have the internet.
Yeah, again, and these are, they're in high school.
If you're not talking to your 10-year-old about sex, you're doing it wrong, folks. I'm just saying.
Yep.
If you think, like, they're not going to your National Geographics anymore, they have the internet.
So anyway, 2 members of that school board decided that just banning the books wasn't enough.
Yeah.
They didn't go far enough. They needed to burn them.
Of course.
And one board member says he says we should just throw those books in a fire. And one of his fellow board members added that he wants to see the books before we burn them so we can identify within our community
Yeah, that's
that we're
why.
eradicating this bad stuff. He heard the word sexually explicit. He wants to see the book.
Oh,
He
of
doesn't
course
know how
he
the
does.
internet works. He's probably
course
got
he
one of
does.
those crippled internets.
So a book they had singled out, right? 33 snow, and I'm going to apologize right now. My source is absolutely famous for having typographical errors. So if the name of the book is wrong or the name of the author is wrong, I sincerely apologize.
Fair.
But the book that was singled out was 33 Snowfish by Adam Rapp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the book's 189 pages. I have now read 43 of them.
Oh, nice. Well played
So
there. You did your research tonight.
No, it's worse than that.
Oh, no.
So I will start by saying, if this is their definition of being sexually explicit, then these people have led a very
Do you have an
sheltered life.
expert, like an excerpt to share with us?
No.
Page 49 is going to start out with, I never thought it would happen to me, but
Anyway, so
or whatever Penthouse Forum's big opening line
well,
is.
it's really and the book is disturbing, right? But it's exactly this kind of book I would have read with relish when I was 15. So having read 43 pages of it, God, I now care about the characters and I have to go buy the remaining 130 pages and see how it turns out.
Well, you'll have to let us know.
But again, based on the first 43 pages, if this is what they think is sexually explicit, yeah, they've led really sheltered
Is
lives.
it like heavy petting, basically? Like, have you stumbled across anything yet?
No. I'm
So you haven't gotten to the good part yet.
Yeah. Apparently, there might be some dicks and
This
boobs
is why you
involved
should
later
like,
on,
comment, and
maybe a
subscribe.
vagina
Well,
or two.
we've had some of those involved, but again, not in any.
No new high water marks for you.
Oh hell no!
Like, I don't know. The
No
first
new
book-
interesting
the
positions to share
All
with
right,
the
no,
group.
so you're going to get a story now.
Okay, good.
Okay,
I like stories.
so on the way to officers candidate school, you have to go through basic training.
Right.
So the first day of basic training, the Army discovered that one of the people in my basic training company couldn't read.
Oh, no.
And he was devastated. And so the senior drill sergeant comes across the room.
Why do you do that? What happened before that?
What happened before that he was being yelled at for filling out his paperwork too slowly. And sitting a seat away from him, I could see the teardrops landing on the paperwork he couldn't fill out.
Oh,
Yeah. McNamara's 100,000.
that's sad.
So anyway, senior drill sergeant comes across the room, snatches him up, puts his arm around him. He says, "Don't worry about it. We can take care of this."
Right.
And he disappeared. Never saw him again. Oh, crap. Anyway, ran into him about 10 weeks later.
Uh-huh.
He was down in the special training company.
Oh,
and
nice.
He wasn't in great shape, so the special training company got him in really good shape.
Oh, good.
He rippled when he walked. It was beautiful. And so
Well
I run
played.
into him in a chow line. I said, "Well, holy shit, I thought you were gone. How's it going?"
Yeah.
He says, "Well, I'm down in special training company and I'm in shape." He said, "I can max the PT test."
Woo.
He says, "But you know what else?" He said, "They taught me to read."
Oh, yay.
And I said, "They taught you to read?" "Yeah, they sent him to classes at night."
Oh.
And he said, "Here, let me show you. I can read this book." And he takes a book out of his back pocket. And it is the most explicit pornography I have ever seen in my life. It is breathtaking. And I'm
Every
trying.
other thing is throbbing.
I'm away at basic training. And I'm reading his book and I'm thinking, crap, I have to give him the book back. Anyway,
Can I hold on to this for the night? I'll give it back to you tomorrow.
so what they did was they taught him some very basic phonetics.
Right.
Right, so that he could puzzle his way through words and so forth, and got him reading at the, probably second grade kind of level.
Sure.
And then they took him into a room and they said, "Hey, take a little time, but pick out a book to read." The whole wall of the room is covered with this kind of pornography because they're not stupid.
Yeah.
And they knew what the troops would read if they could. And so they could give him a book he really, really, really wanted to read the next page. So anyway, he sat there and he demonstrated for a couple of pages that he could read reasonably fluently. I was surprised how much they had done in 9 weeks.
That's amazing.
Light machine gunners, fuck.
So
No, it reminds
Anyway.
me of that scene from A League of Their Own where she's teaching the other girl how to read, and she's
Yeah.
like, "What are you having her read?" And she's like, "Shh, she's doing it. Shut up."
Yes.
It's beautiful. If you've never seen that movie, it is a good watch. It'll
So,
make you cry. It's awesome.
Here was this kid who came to basic training, 50 pounds overweight, right? Can't read, right? This kid was the town joke. That's what he was.
Aww,
And now he's standing tall. He can max the PT test and he can read.
yeah.
And he's soon enough, he's going to be headed home in uniform,
Oh God, yeah.
right? I would have given anything
To see
to be there
Yeah.
when some son of a bitch said something to
him. Oh God,
and
yeah.
got 19 years of frustration and anger unloaded into his face.
Ah! Oh my
just-
God, that's brilliant.
Anyway, so
No, I love
And
that.
why the Marine Corps loves the idea of Gomer Pyle so
Fair.
that it is one of the places that just do the job. That would be good. They will love you forever.
yeah, they made this kid's
I know.
life.
No, I watched the Marine Corps.
So an
kids
answer
get
to
so
the
buttoned.
question, is 33 Snowfish explicitly sexual?
Not in the
Not
first
so
40
far.
odd pages.
Yeah. So he's gonna follow up when he
Yeah.
finishes reading that book, and he'll let us know. So we'll give you an update on that
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
Boomer Rex's creative critique.
Yeah. Here we go.
Right.
All right. So
And I'll check the spelling of the name of the book and the author.
Yeah.
'cause
Fair. Just to
knowing
make
where
sure.
I
Is it
got
good?
it, having what?
I know you're invested now, but is it good?
It's a very disturbing book.
Isn't it?
Are the characters well
Should I
fleshed out?
check it out?
They're getting that way,
Okay.
and they're
Yeah.
No, 43.
I understand. Yeah, exactly.
pages
I
in, it
understand.
takes
Not.
some time to
Yeah.
to actually.
I would be
develop.
hesitant to recommend a book on the first 40 pages being good
Right.
because
right,
then
so-
it just fell apart like
So
a
we'll
bread
come. We'll,
submarine.
we'll definitely come back to this, but right now I do want to talk about an NBC News article that
Uh-oh.
was written by Marlene Lenthang. Whatever. Again, if you want me to botch your name, comment with your friend's name that's spelt weirdly or that you think I would have,
And if
a
Elaine
hard time.
Hughes is listening, and I know you are, you should like, comment, and subscribe.
Marlene.
Marlene.
Anyway, so she wrote an article, and it's called QAnon Shaman Who Stormed Capitol in Horns Should Spend 51 Months in Prison, prosecutors say. All right, so we're talking about Jacob Chansley. For those of you that don't know, this is the guy with the painted face and horns, a 6-foot American flag spear, and he was shirtless at the January 6th
And the vegan
insurrection.
meal requirements while in lockup.
Oh my
Right.
God, this guy is such a tool.
and he
Anyway,
lived about 90 miles from here.
He's a sword guy, but he's a spear pole or a flagpole guy.
right. Prosecutors recommended on Tuesday night that he should go to jail for 51 months and pay a $2,000 fine. Chansley was one of
anybody.
What?
Yeah, sorry.
Chansley was one of the first 30 people that made it inside the Capitol on January 6th. He used a blowhorn to encourage others to violence and sat in the Vice President Pence, in the then Vice President Pence's seat, even when he was asked to leave by law enforcement. He wrote a note on the dais that said, "It's only a matter of time. Justice is coming."
Yep.
And I
Nope.
quote that. After he claimed he was proud of what he did, saying, the fact, and I quote again, "the fact that we had a bunch of our traitors in office hunker down, put on their gas masks, and retreat into their underground bunker, I
That's why I
consider
want the
that a
traitors."
win." And he said that in an NBC News interview. He pled guilty back in September to a single federal charge of felony obstruction and of an official proceeding.
Sure.
So, but anyway, he's going to be in jail for 51 months, hopefully, and good, because fuck
I'm
this
done.
guy.
Part of it is the same as the Becky with the good hair who said, "I'm not going to go to jail because I have the good hair."
because I'm blonde and white and I have a
Yeah.
future. Must
Enjoy your
be
ride,
nice.
Cupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an enhancement because you really did just stand in front of the system and tell them they weren't going to hit you,
Yeah.
and then they hit you.
Well,
Weird.
and that they
Yeah,
weren't
who'da
going to hit
thunk?
you because you're from a privileged class.
Oh yeah,
So
I'll go to the other side, the North Hollywood bank robbery, where they came out with AKs and weren't right No, that story has to end with airstrikes or whatever. You cannot Godzilla your way through.
Yeah.
For the same reason, you cannot stand there defiantly in the street and flip off the system with both fingers without the system
Deciding to.
They're gonna win. They have to win. The dude with the killdozer had to die.
So while we're there, a fellow who was a former MMA fighter, who punched a cop in the
There we
face.
go. Yep.
Sentenced to 44 months.
Yes, absolutely. Because again, like this isn't caught up in the. Because that's my only concern is, again, we spent more money on this than almost any other human endeavor. Certainly, any other human endeavor in advertising.
Yep.
To make these people believe we are now that Tom Hanks runs a global pedophile ring. Like that's what you need to do it.
Well, and again, his defense
Craigslist was a
attorneys
thing up until 4 years ago.
are saying the same thing that we've heard from other defense attorneys about the whole concept of, oh, he's a vulnerable person due to mental health instability and such, and he was taken for a ride by these people who he believed.
Yep.
But he also was directly involved in inciting other people and doing these things.
He was an influencer amongst
He was an
his
influencer
community.
before Jason.
His job was to talk crazy, too crazy.
He
He
encouraged
was a
people
cosplay
to come to
influencer.
to the January 6th coup insurrection.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a major part of why this all happened.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not major, but he certainly was a part of it.
He got paid to make crazier people crazy.
Yep.
Like that's his active right. That's the punching the cop. That's the active piece I need, not sad right vinyl siding installer from who cares.
Yeah, and he's walking around carrying a 6-foot
Someone who thought
spear
for a minute they didn't have anything
Right.
to lose.
And a bullhorn
and a
and encouraging
blowhorn,
violence.
and
Yeah.
he was encouraging
No, and
violence.
that's
He was encouraging the problems.
Yeah.
No, it was
No, this isn't
no good.
right. The MMA guy, right, had an actual life that like he knew what he had to lose.
Yeah.
As opposed to someone who's like got a horrible like job or third job or
Yeah.
so. And then for me, that's the big dividing line of otherwise, don't pass go, get less than a year. Yeah, you should spend some time sitting in a box, buddy. Like the penalty box sucks, but you should get out. It shouldn't be a thing that'll ruin you forever.
Yeah, I mean, many of those who are going to get felony convictions and meaningful prison terms they're locked up now. So they'll get to count, this as time served and so forth.
I hadn't thought of that yet.
So great.
So now we're dropping the violent kids into like 12 months, which you should lose at Christmas, right? I hope whoever dies while you're in, but you live your life, you take your lumps.
Kind of, sort of. I don't care because I feel like you made the decision to be involved in this. And I don't care what any of these people say. They knew it was not okay to do, and they did it anyway.
Agreed.
Again, I understand the whole like mob mentality, and that is a for real thing. But a lot of these
time they had ever
people
been genuinely threatened in their whole lives.
Right, but the people that are getting slapped on the wrist, right, are the ones that we agree deserve to be slapped on the wrist.
Yeah.
But I'm saying people like this guy.
No, sorry. I thought we were still talking about the. I want the tier like 1 kids, the like baby kids. I want us to kick a soft spot in their boat. The MMA guy, QAnon shaman, right? The people who really hurt law enforcement, right? If you carry the blue shit and then whacked them with that flag, I'm down if we kick a tiny hole in your boat.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like some of these people were involved in directly in terrorism. Okay. And what terrorism is to me is doing something with the purpose of instilling fear or whatever to get somebody to do something different than they normally would. Okay. So when you're
violence in pursuit of
could you imagine, okay, in your office, all right, you're at work, you're doing your job, and all of a sudden the alarms start going off and everybody's hiding and running and people are coming in, right?
Yeah.
And then when you come back after this is all done, you find that somebody went through your personal things and threw them everywhere and shat and pissed on your floor and wrote nasty notes about how you were going to die and you're next and we're coming for you. And could you imagine the terror that would instill in you as a person? Now, this is how these senators and such
I've had people
felt.
rifle my gear before. But no, I agree with you. This guy did definitely cross over in a non-violent fashion into the tier 2 nitwittery. That you wrote a thing on their desk. What are you doing? This is not
Right.
This
Well,
is not
and
a
he's
kid who
been out-
expected to get stopped at the door.
He's been out prancing around for a couple of years.
He
here.
gave interviews. He did a
Oh, yeah.
lot. And again, all of that, I guess, shouldn't be part of his court thing. But again, this guy was totally willing to hold court in
I
the street.
consider anything that
He helped create the environment that caused this.
I really consider anything that he said out loud in an interview fashion, so on the news or whatever, that's
Admissible.
public.
Yep.
That's public things that he said,
He
and
made a
those
statement.
statements should
Yeah.
be used against
Yeah,
him. If
I
I
don't-
said dumb shit about the crimes I committed, I would hope that it would be used against me.
I'd tag him more for his lawyer lying about the thing, but again, I'm heavy on Miranda. But no, this guy a little bit deserved to get kind of schwacked, just because if you're the problem with mobs, right? Unless you your guys have all the guns,
Right.
you can't control a mob.
Right.
This guy was willing to have mob justice.
Yep.
Right, he was betting that on the worst instincts of the people in that room.
And was encouraging it with a
Yeah.
bullhorn.
Well, and another thing I want to remind y'all, and this isn't
Get in the
reported.
ring, get hit.
This isn't reported as much, but part of what was happening this day was before these people got to the Capitol, a bunch of them were arrested for illegally carrying guns. So that probably kept a lot, and maybe not as many as we'd hope, but it probably kept some of the people who were actually could have gone in there and shot people and whatever. But anyway, some of these people were arrested before they even made it to the Capitol. So there was some other stuff going on, and these people will tell you, oh, no one had guns. They did. They were arrested.
The QRF, the 3%ers were setting up, whoever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of this was genuine. Again, the nitwits who were looking at or thinking about the underground tunnels.
Yep.
They really did look at insurrection. Not enough of them were committed. One of the things Risen and I were talking about this morning
Yep.
was if Trump gets reelected,
Oof.
are these federal or state charges?
These are federal right now.
Then they can all be pardoned.
Yep.
And that is the kind of thing I would expect Miller or Bannon or somebody, because that's going to draw a big bold line.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see Trump doing it. He said he was gonna do it previously, and he didn't. For a lot of people,
Because it didn't benefit him.
and I don't see this benefiting him in any manner. I don't think it matters, because once this is done, Trump's gonna want to pretend it never fucking happened, and he's gonna brush it under the rug and say, "I don't know these people. They were bad people, and they weren't my people. They were other
majority of
people."
them are going to be in jail until they are sentenced and sent to jail.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they're going to serve a minimum of a year. 4 years.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I'm
Yeah.
good with that.
But
then
if he
Trump can
needs
pardon them.
to mobilize a bigger number of them,
Yeah.
you do that by pardoning the
Absolutely.
last number.
Yeah, but again, this is just my personal opinion on the matter, is I don't think it's worth his time, right? And
You
he's
don't think
shown us
being,
before
president for
that
life is worth his time? That's how you build the thing that actually takes the streets.
right, but I don't think he's smart enough to
No,
go
he's
through that
not.
thought process.
But the
He'll
people
have
who surround
advisors
him
who are.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dick Cheney worked the other one like a
If I were
muppet.
Donald Trump running for re-election in 2024, I would promise and do that on day one.
Yes.
That would be.
So
one
you're
of
saying
my-
the same thing I am. We'll
Yeah.
figure out what it is we're not conveying, because
No, I understand what
I
you're
would
saying. I'm just
campaign
saying,
on
I
that.
personally, I feel like by the time he gets around to being in office, that this is all just going to be done with, because
No,
what
they'll have
everybody
felony
is trying to do
convictions.
as
Yeah.
we speak
They-
is brush this all under the rug.
I had a misdemeanor conviction that made me unhousable in the United States.
Right.
And it never came up. It was never listed as the reason, because that's an actionable statement. Right? You could then be like, that's discriminatory, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Right.
But since
No,
it's
and
a
that's why-
misdemeanor, it can't be expunged. These are federal felonies. This is as bad as a dishonorable discharge.
Yeah.
This is the civilian equivalent to, you can't get a credit card.
Right.
You can't, you probably have trouble getting a cell phone that isn't done from, a bodega.
Well, or just go in and buy Cricket at Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get you.
There's a reason
Buy your
Cricket
own.
asks for some of those personal numbers they ask for.
So anyway, No, I'll bet you money, if he runs in
Bet you a dollar.
2024, that Donald Trump will use that as a campaign promise and fulfill it on the day
I see it
he's
as the next
inaugurated.
step of pardoning Judge Arpaio.
Yeah.
Or Sheriff Arpaio. So we'll see. But that was my, because it's how you keep it in the news and other things. Do we have anything else?
No, I mean, I just want to say, it's been another awesome night and we've had fun, and
Yep.
we have a cat sitting on the table wanting attention from Daddy.
Yeah.
Aw.
And I'll give you a recap on 33 snowfish.
Yeah.
Yes. No, we're looking forward to that.
No, this was exciting. We traveled the world tonight. We went to London, India, and Ireland. That's a pretty amazing exploration.
So, like, comment, subscribe for more amphibious news.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Again, we are here for all your daily, or nearly daily news and political updates.
Especially if it's about water sometimes.
And don't forget to comment with a fun name that you think that I would totally botch, and maybe I'll get it right. You don't know. You'll have to listen.
Yeah.
So don't forget to comment with those names. Let us know.
Or any story you want to know more about.
Yeah,
Subscribe,
seriously. We want to
Nice if your
hear.
parents know your name.
What
I would
do
like
you
to know.
What do you not have time to research in your daily life that you would like information on? Because I will give you my sources. I will tell you where I found this information.
I just want a big binder of news I care
I'll give
about
you
on
facts.
slow news
So,
days.
Yeah.
send us what you want to know more about, and send us your fun names, and we will see you back here tomorrow night on Boomer Rex Tonight.
Do you think we should tell them automatic transmission fluid is made out of puppies?